Yeah, what's poppin'? It's the boy Tony Williams, man. I ain't been on YouTube in a minute, but one thing I wanted to discuss, this hate for LeBron James, not just from other people on YouTube, but people I know personally and everything. They can't stand this dude, and I don't get it, man. I don't get the LeBron hate, man. You know, because when people compare him to other players, other great players and everything, I think he's one of the top 5 best players in the history of the league. Now, obviously, that's all subjective, and you can always, you know, I mean, it's only somebody's opinion in the first place, but I think he's top 5 best players that ever played. I think he's the best small forward that's ever played. You know? Now, when people compare him to other players and everything, I don't, personally, I don't think he's better than Mike. You know, Mike, I think Mike is the best. He's the best player I ever saw, MJ. You know, I'm not a kid, man. I'm 42 years old. So I've seen a lot of great players. I've been watching basketball since I was probably like 5 or 6 years old. So I remember Larry Bird and all them. Larry Bird broke my heart a whole lot of times back when I was a kid. Me being from Philadelphia and being a Sixers fan. So, you know, also being from Philadelphia, I don't have no dog in the fight when it comes to this dude. You know what I mean? I'm not a sickle fan. I'm not a LeBron sickle fan. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody that's going to defend everything he does and all that type of shit. None of these players, you know what I mean? They human beings. They're going to fuck up. But we can't shit on LeBron for shit that other people have done. Other people have done in the past. Because when people talk about Kobe, because they, you know what I mean, obviously, you know, they're going to get compared a lot because they played, their eras intersected a lot. And I think Kobe Bryant's in the top 10. I think he's the second best. He's the second best 2 guard I ever seen behind Mike. But when we talk about Kobe and his 5 rings, and obviously he played a part in that. He's a great player. But you cannot act like that Shaquille O'Neal wasn't Shaquille O'Neal in those first 3 championships. Shaq was the most dominant player of this era, of the era that he played in. He was indefensible. It was when he was at the top of his game, Shaquille O'Neal was nothing you could do with Shaquille O'Neal. It simply wasn't. And like even when the Sixers played them in the playoffs and everything, the year that they played Iverson and them and all that, you know, the Sixers won the 1 game. You know what I mean? And you know the city was hyped because they actually beat that team 1 time. That's how good that Lakers team was with Shaq on it. You know, but me being a basketball fan and understanding talent when I see it, I didn't think we were going to beat that team 4 times. I didn't think the Sixers had a shot to beat that team 4 games. And the Lakers obviously proved that by winning the next 4 and winning the series. And went on to I think it was their 2nd championship. Yeah, it was the 2nd one. Because they beat Indiana, I think, in the 1st one. So, the first of the 3. Those first 3 championships. So, but Kobe was Robin to Shaq. Shaq was Batman. Shaq was Superman. Shaq was the man. It's not to say that Kobe wasn't already a great player. Obviously he was. But you can't act like that Shaq wasn't Shaq. You can't act like Shaq wasn't who he was. Shaq was a fucking monster. And it was literally nothing you can do with him. Period. Because he was at the top of his game. He was at the apex of everything. Everything came together physically, mentally, and all that type of shit and everything when guys reached the apex of their game. Especially truly great players and everything. And Shaquille O'Neal was that. Shaquille O'Neal's maybe one of the top 5 centers in history of basketball. And when we talk about Shaq, we got to talk about Shaq and everything, and the light and everything that he was about who he was and everything at that time. And it doesn't diminish Kobe. But this is what it is. Now, the thing I really want to get on people about is not only when Shaq left the Lakers, people act like that Kobe didn't ask for help and everything. He did everything by himself. No, the fuck he didn't. First of all, Kobe did ask for fucking help. Do y'all remember when he had the interview with Stephen A. Smith? He was talking about leaving the Lakers. He was talking about leaving the Lakers. Y'all remember that shit? Motherfuckers be forgetting that he acted like that he was tripping. Everybody was like, Kobe, that day he was like, nah, I really didn't want to leave. You know, I was just frustrated. Yeah, he was frustrated because he was used to winning and he didn't have the team around him to win. The Lakers made sure they got the players around him to win. But he was mad as shit. He was talking about leaving. He said that out his fucking mouth. When we talking about people doing bitch ass things and all this other shit and everything, when you talk about somebody bitch, what's more nutty? What's some more nut ass shit than a motherfucker snitching on another man in his situation? You remember when he said that he should have paid his women off like Shaq doing everything, basically threw Shaq under the bus because he got caught up in his shit? Who the fuck does that? Kobe Bryant. Kobe did that. So Kobe was a whole clown. A whole clown when it comes to that shit and everything. So you can't get mad at LeBron James and everything because he asked for help, because none of these players have won championships by themselves. They have not. Now, even Scottie Pippen was voted one of the 50 top players in the history of the league at the time when they did that poll, when they did that voting. You know what I mean? Yeah, Pippen was voted top 50 of all time. Michael Jordan never won a championship by himself. Even Michael Jordan didn't win a championship by himself. And he was bitching too. He was saying that he didn't have enough help. Most of y'all motherfuckers are young as shit and y'all remember this shit. Y'all remember this shit. He did. He did do that. Because he wanted to win. LeBron wants to win. Now, him asking for help, he's supposed to ask for help because he wants to win. Nobody wins a championship by yourself. Remember, when they played Golden State that first year, the first year they played Golden State, when Golden State beat them, everybody was hurt. LeBron James had one of the best finals in the history of the NBA. But they couldn't beat Golden State. Golden State had much better players around Steph and all those. Steph didn't have to carry that team on his back. The team was much better than Cleveland. LeBron didn't want to be caught up in that shit no more. When he left and went to Miami and everything, I didn't really like how he went about doing it. But I understand why he did it. Because Cleveland didn't have enough around him. And another thing y'all got to understand, every team that LeBron James has been on, he's been the best player. He's been the man. Since he's been in this league. Since he's been playing basketball, basically. He was the focal point of everything. Kobe Bryant wasn't the focal point of those. Not only that, when he first came in the league, remember, he was coming off the bench because Eddie Jones and all of them was starting in front of him. But who the fuck was going to start in front of LeBron James? Nobody was going to start in front of him. There was nobody that was going to be good enough that was going to be in front of this dude. This dude is a prodigy. So instead of shitting on these guys and everything and talk about the little idiosyncrasies and all that shit about their personalities, why can't we as basketball fans just enjoy what we're watching? Because you don't see this shit all the time. If everybody can do it, then it wouldn't be special. So enjoy LeBron while you're here. Enjoy him. He's one of the all-time great players. People talking about, I don't like him because he act like this. I don't give a fuck how none of these motherfuckers act. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? People used to do a lot of fucked up shit, and we act like that shit never happened before. We act like that this motherfucker, he bitched too much and everything if he played back in this era and everything. Well, first of all, if he grew up in the same era that I grew up in and things like that, his mindset probably would have been different in the first place. So how can you say, oh, if he played back then, he would be like that now? Your mentality is not going to be the same as it was. Now, a lot of these guys do be bitching, but a lot of guys bitch back then, too. They ain't want to get touched. Just because the game was rough, it don't mean they was all right with getting touched. You were just allowed to foul motherfuckers hard, and the rules was different. But motherfuckers was mad as shit. They got up and ready to fight. Stop acting like this shit ain't happening. Y'all motherfuckers kills me with some of the shit y'all be saying. Y'all motherfuckers kills me with the way y'all be tripping. Y'all be tripping on this shit. This boy's one of the best players. Why can't we just enjoy him for being that? Now, if you want to put Kobe over him, that's fine. That's your opinion. If you want to put Mike over him, you know what I mean, which I definitely agree with, that's fine. That's your opinion. If you want to put LeBron over everybody, that's your opinion. I don't agree with all that, but that's your opinion. But we know he's a superstar. He's a great player, man. He's a prodigy. So let's enjoy him for who he is and stop shitting on him just because and everything all the time. We be hating these dudes for what? Motherfuckers be hating Steph Curry. Motherfuckers be hating Russell. How the fuck you hate Russell Westbrook? How you do that? Fuck you mean you hate Russell Westbrook? How can anybody who loves basketball say they hate Russell Westbrook and the way he plays? Really? Come on, dog. That doesn't even make fucking sense. Enjoy Steph Curry for being one of the best shooters. I think he's the best shooter in the history of this league. Enjoy that. Let's enjoy the game and shit. Motherfuckers be missing. When you sit there and start shitting on everything and hating everybody and saying, I wish this guy, you actually missed the fucking show. That's Tony Williams' opinion on his basketball shit, though. On LeBron and all his other shit around him and everything. And, you know what I mean? I don't get the hate, but it is what it is. I'm out.